Welcome back. Let us now look into your application questions based on your investment security, looking into forms of investment. Now, the first part is to look into the instruction, which requires us to read the scenario below and answer questions that follow. We have Tadeo. Tadeo inherited 500,000 from his mother. He wants to invest this amount in a safe investment option with guaranteed returns where no charges, fees, or commissions are payable. Now, let us look into the question now. Identify the form of investment that will suit Tadeo's requirements and motivate your answer by quoting from the scenario. Then, 2. Discuss the impact of the form of investment identified in question 1. Let us go now into how to deal with the question. Tadeo inherited 500,000. Tadeo must be happy with his mother. Obviously, the mother contributed to the 500,000. But Tadeo is a very, very smart young man because Tadeo now decides to invest this amount. And he wants now to invest this amount in a safe option investment with guaranteed returns where no charges, fees, or commissions will be payable. Now, identify the form of investment that will suit Tadeo's requirements and motivate your answer by quoting from the scenario. So, this is what you should do. You should be knowing that we have 4 forms of investments and you should know their impact, meaning their positives and negatives. So the answer here is clear. It becomes your RSA retail savings bond. How do you motivate? You motivate by quoting from the scenario. You take the sentence as it is. He wants to invest this amount in a safe option with guaranteed return where no charges, fees, or commissions are payable. So that is how you motivate. Now, let us look into another aspect, which is now to discuss the impact of the form of investment identified. Now, the positives are there's guaranteed returns as interest is fixed for the whole investment period. That's one positive. But remember, it was on the scenario, so you should not repeat what was on the scenario. And then the negatives now becomes the idea that now a minimum of 1,000 must be invested, which may be difficult for small investors to accumulate. So with that being said, you should know that the impact allows you to either provide positives or negatives so that you become sorted. But you can provide positives only or negatives only. It depends. Then we have now another application question which requires us now to identify the types of investment opportunities that were used by prime plumbers in each statement below. Now, the first one, prime plumbers invested 50,000 for 6 months at 12% interest with a financial institution. Then another one is prime plumbers received dividends for their portion of ownership in Blue Range Ltd. Now let us look into our solution. So Prime Plumbers invested 50,000 for 6 months at 12% interest with a financial institution. Now, which form of investment can that be? So this is supposed to be your fixed deposit. This is your fixed deposit. And then when you're looking into statement B, now Prime Plumbers received dividends for their portion of now ownership in Blue Range Ltd. So this would basically be a form of investment we call shares. Now, let us move into another question, which requires us now to identify the types of shares represented by each statement below. Shares are issued to existing shareholders as compensation for loss of dividends. And then number 2, shares are received, or shareholders receive their dividends before others can be paid out. Then these shares are issued to shareholders who started the company, and then the last part is that the shareholders may receive higher dividends when the company has made larger profits. So with that being said, let us now deal with the solution. Immediately you see a question that says now shares are issued to existing shareholders as compensation. You should be knowing that we are talking about bonus shares, because this is compensation for shareholders who did not receive their dividends for maybe 2 or previous financial years. Then when we're talking about shareholders receiving their dividends before others can be paid out, we are talking about preference shares. Then these shares are issued to shareholders who started the company. So this would be your founders. Your founders' shares. Then with your last statement, these shareholders may receive higher dividends when the company has made more profits. So that would be your ordinary shares. Now, with that being said, let us take a short break because we are done with our application and practice question. So we'll take a short break and then wrap up our lesson so that we can complete. Thank you.